Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Adam. You're watching Unlimited Options Investing. I hope you guys are all doing well and made some money in the markets this week. And what a crazy week it was, as it was the biggest earnings week of the entire quarter, as most of the big tech companies reported their earnings. And there were a bunch of other companies as well that didn't report their earnings that had crazy weeks as well. Think of Tesla, PayPal, Pinterest, Snapchat, and not to mention crypto, of course, Coinbase, Voyager, a stock that I own. What a crazy week it was. We're going to get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard and hit that subscribe button. Here at Unlimited Options Investing, we talk everything from stocks, crypto, options, ETFs, precious metals, all of it, and we're investing for the long term. As well as always, smash that like button and let's get started. All right, so one of the biggest pieces of news this week came as CEO of Facebook, or what used to be Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, changes the name of the company to Meta in embrace of virtual reality. So Meta, of course, is short for what Facebook is planning on releasing in the upcoming, years, would be the metaverse, which they believe is the successor of the mobile internet, which is crazy enough to believe in itself. And I'm actually paywalled on Bloomberg, so I'm going to use a different website. All right, good old CNBC. So the name change, which was announced at the Facebook Connect Augmented and Virtual Reality Conference, reflects the company's growing ambitions beyond social media. The rebranding also comes after the company has dealt with a barrage of news reports over the past month, stemming from whistleblower Francis Hahn, aka the Snitch, trove of internal documents. And I'd also like to mention, as a side note, what's trending right now is there is a Squid Game cryptocurrency. Of course there is, and it's up nearly 2,400% in the last 24 hours. Of course it is. With Mark Zuckerberg saying, today we are seen as a social media company, but our DNA, we are a company that builds technology to connect people. And we see that with WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, and Facebook, the app, of course. And I know people hate Facebook, they hate Mark Zuckerberg, but I mean, the usefulness of Facebook is that I'm able to connect with people when I don't have their phone number or I don't have any of their other contact information. I can just contact them through. So the metaverse is the next frontier, just like social networking was when we got started. And that's true. When you think about it, social media didn't exist 10, 15 years ago. Honestly, I signed up for Facebook when it first started around 2007, and it was a brand new concept at the time. Right now, how could you think of the world without social media, as it is literally the backbone of so many different social movements, amongst so many other things. The company is also going to be changing their ticker symbol from FB to MVRS. Taking a look at Facebook stock over the last 5 days, so right now it's trading for $323.57. And after the news came out on Thursday in the afternoon, the price jumped up from about $315 up to about $323, moving back down, but right now we're still at that level. There's a strong case that it's undervalued, but I can make an entire video just on that. So moving on, we have Amazon, and this one reported earnings on Thursday, and as you can see, it did not do very well since then. So actually looking at the past week, we are 1.12% higher than when we started on Monday. However, we did climb up to 1 point all the way to about 3,450, a little bit higher than that. So we did go up 4%, and after the earnings, we did drop quite dramatically down about 5%, but recovering on Friday about 2%. So shares of the e-commerce giant dropped more than 4% in extended trading on Thursday after a disappointing quarterly earnings report. Amazon posted an EPS of $6.12 for the third quarter, badly missing the $8.92. Wow. The company also issued disappointing guidance for the critical holiday period. And they missed on the top and bottom lines, with fourth quarter sales guidance below Wall Street's estimates. And we see revenue at $110.81 billion versus the expected $111.6 billion expected. And for revenue, they collected $110.81 billion versus the expected $111.6 billion. CEO Andy Jassy said the company expects to take on several billions of dollars of extra costs in its consumer business in the fourth quarter as a result of labor shortages, higher employee costs, global supply chain constraints, and increased freight and shipping costs. Amazon is navigating these challenges as it enters the peak holiday season, he said. It'll be expensive for us in the short term, but it's the right prioritization for our customers and partners, he said. The company has taken steps to shore up its supply chain amid the global challenges by adding new shipping ports and boosting its fleets of planes and trucks. Its operating profit in the fourth quarter will be in the range of $0 to $3 billion. That's a significant step down from its operating profit of $6.9 billion in the year-ago period. Revenue from third-party seller services, which includes commissions on the marketplace as well as fulfillment and shipping fees, climbed 18% to $24.25 billion, a slowdown from 34% growth in the second quarter and 60% in the first. For the first time in its history, revenue from Amazon services surpassed its retail sales. Net product sales were $54.9 billion in the quarter, while revenue from Amazon Web Services, advertisement, third-party seller services, and Prime subscriptions added up to $55.9 billion. Amazon Web Services top estimates with revenue jumping 39% to $16.11 billion, while analysts expected sales of $15.48 billion. AWS generated $4.88 billion in operating income in the period, while operating profit at the parent company was just $880 million. Without the hefty profit from AWS, Amazon would have recorded a loss for the quarter. And looking at the chart on Google for the last year, pretty much Amazon has been range bound, anywhere from about $3,000 all the way up to $3,700 more or less. We're pretty much getting July into August of 2020 year's pricing. Apple, the tech giant stock dropped more than 4% in extended trading after the company's revenue fell short of Wall Street's expectations in its fiscal fourth quarter, which CEO Tim Cook attributed to larger than expected supply constraints. Its earnings per share matched the street's estimates. So nothing too crazy to report in terms of Apple. Investors weren't too impressed, as we can see in the stock price, with a gapping down opening at 147.22 and slowly creeping back up as the day progressed. Actually, as of today, I'm recording this on Friday evening. It is no longer the biggest stock in the market at a $2.48 trillion market cap. Microsoft has been having a very strong week and is now $2.49 trillion in market cap. And we've already talked about Microsoft on the channel this week, but man, this one has just been running up ever since. Starbucks, the coffee chain, saw its shares falling over 2% in after-hours trading after a quarterly revenue miss. Starbucks posted quarterly revenue of $8.1 billion in the third quarter, falling short of expectations of $8.21 billion as the pandemic was resurging in China, weakening sales. This one was trading 6.3% down on Friday after closing at 113 right before the earnings, going as low as $104, and then recovering a little bit now at $106. She sold a put option at the 104 strike price. I'll be making a more detailed video about this one in the upcoming days. And Voyager Digital up 54% over the last 5 days, and I've been talking about this one on the channel, how it's been bleeding out as crypto has been going up. It reported earnings, and this one has been flying. So what happened? Voyager stock saw an early morning bounce from good news. The company's earnings report stated fiscal 2021 would be a breakout year from the cryptocurrency company. Even better, management stated that investors have more to look forward to. Total revenue increased an insane amount from $1 million in 2020 to $175 million in 2021. And for those that struggle at math, that is a year-over-year increase of 175x. Total verified users on Voyager more than doubled to 1.75 million, total assets under management reaching $2.6 billion. What's more, the company stated in an earnings release that it will be announcing more results from its first quarter on November 15. So this last quarter simply looked at the quarter ending June 30, not taking into account the significant growth it's seen recently. Not to mention a couple pieces of news this week, of Voyager securing $75 million in strategic investment, as well as the backing of the Dallas Mavericks and Mark Cuban, announcing a 5-year partnership. You can also earn $100 in free Bitcoin if you use one of the promo codes that are provided publicly by the Dallas Mavericks, which is crazy. That's a lot of money. $100 is not nothing. And a Mavericks fan also hit a half-court shot for $100K in crypto, which has nothing to do with Voyager, but I thought that was kind of interesting as well. And now to my favorite part, of course, the candlestick. So first, looking at the dollar index, and we'll make our way down. We see for the week that it was trading more or less sideways, with Thursday a big down day and Friday being a big up day, engulfing the red candle. The VIX, or the volatility index, has been trading near its lows, finding resistance at the moving averages over here. And usually when it's at these lows, it can consolidate for a while before spiking up, so it'll be interesting to see if we get any action in that, but we have nothing imminent so far. The 10-year Treasury note is down for the week, finding a little bit of upwards pressure on Thursday and Friday, but this one also moving down as Friday was progressing. Now looking at equities, we're first going to look at the FAANG index, which is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. As I always say, I wish instead of Netflix that it was Microsoft, but I digress. This one's still looking pretty good. We are entering into a seasonally strong period of the year, and we see Friday, despite the disappointing numbers with Amazon and with Apple, that we saw a big hammer candle, barely not touching the 20 EMA on the daily, and finding that buying pressure again. We're testing that blue trend line over here. The Dow Jones Industrial Average pretty much at all-time highs, as we broke all-time highs that we established earlier this year back in August. The S&P 500 also at all-time highs, and this one's had a very strong second half of the month, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row. Yeah, your doji candle, another green day, 2 red candles, and then 2 strong green days as well. So we're definitely back in bullish context again after a volatile September and beginning of October. I mean, we might pull back to these moving averages or even this blue trend line, but that would be healthy. And taking a look at the Nasdaq, and I could probably actually extend these trend lines over here. There we go, and there we go. And that's exactly how I do it, really, guys. I just extend those parallel lines. And similar to the SPY, and thanks to the FAANG index for finding strength again today, this one's looking pretty good. Again, it wouldn't be totally surprising if we saw a little bit of a pullback, which could be healthy. However, we are in bullish context, so it is really encouraging. The IWM, nothing new, nothing exciting. We're still range bound as we have been. I'll let you guys know if anything happens on that one, but pretty boring so far. Looking at precious metals, gold, again, a little bit hard to read, trading sideways. Hasn't been the strongest of hedges against inflation. Taking a look at silver, this one's a little bit more clear than gold on the charts in my opinion, but again, hasn't been the greatest of hedges so far. Finding support on those moving averages on the daily. Taking a look at black gold, aka USOIL, and no surprise this one has been very strong. Have you looked at the gas prices recently? So since Wednesday we had a little bit of a pullback, but we can see on Thursday it respected the 20 EMA perfectly, the same way it has for the better part of the last month and a half or so. Otherwise, this one is in very strong bullish context. We just have to see where US oil peaks. Crypto, so since Bitcoin hit that all-time high about a week and a half ago, we have had a little bit of a pullback, finding good buying pressure on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, engulfing these red candles over here. And Ethereum, we're now at all-time highs. Taking a look at the weekly, we were at all-time high back in May of this year, and right now, today, we crushed that. We are now at all-time highs. This is exciting. This one's looking extremely bullish until it isn't really respecting that 20 EMA. Let's just see how high this one continues going up. And looking at Cardano, it's below our blue box over here, so this could be a good potential buying opportunity, or maybe this is a sign for things to come. However, as a whole, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins are all doing pretty well. So it'd be pretty tough and interesting to see Cardano doing the opposite of that, but I mean, anything is possible. And look at Tesla. This one just continues ripping up higher. Looking at the RSI of almost 93, this one is just continuing to go up and up and up. We had a really ugly candle on Tuesday and Wednesday, but again, it didn't follow up. Tesla was just doing whatever it felt like doing. And taking a look at the weekly charts, look at those gap ups between 840 and 850, which isn't that crazy, but look at this. 909, 910, all the way up to about 950. That one is nuts. I mean, you should never bet against Tesla, but this is a crazy, crazy move. In the short term, I wouldn't be in the least surprised if we pulled back or if we consolidated for a little bit, because whenever we get this high on the RSI, usually we trade sideways or we pull back quite considerably, especially because the catalyst of this big run-up was the Hertz news, and I don't know why that moved the stock as much as it did, but it did. If this one hits 1200 or 1300 next week, would you be surprised? But at the same time, we have to also consider that Tesla a week ago was just at $900, and a week before that was at $850. Lastly, looking at Voyager Digital, looking at this downtrend since the middle of May, it has finally been broken. And although this candle from Friday isn't the prettiest, we saw that on Tesla it doesn't necessarily matter unless there's confirmation or some kind of follow-up move afterward. But I will definitely be making a dedicated video to Voyager Digital in the upcoming days as well. So regardless of which companies are reporting earnings this upcoming week, it's going to be a little bit of a downer compared to this past week, as all the big names and all the volatility and whatnot. However, I will be releasing an earnings preview for the upcoming week starting tomorrow, and I have so many other great ideas I can't wait to share with you guys. It does take a little bit of time to record and edit and make these videos, but no excuses, they will be coming out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching my video. As always, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.